Hi guys, Scuffy Spurs Talk here, back with another video. In today's video I'll be reacting to another defeat to Chelsea, this time 2-0 at Stamford Bridge. We'll be talking about everything that happened in today's game. I hope you're all well. Let's crack straight into today's video. Yeah, we lost 2-0 again, Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. Our bad record continues at Stamford Bridge. Only one win since 1990 at Stamford Bridge. Our awful record there. Losing our fourth game to Chelsea this season, 3 under Conte, 1 under Nuno. Frustrating, but positives take out of it. First half, very, very good defensively. But before I talk about tonight's performance, the idea in these three games, if you like, under Conte, where we've been playing Chelsea, 2 in the Carabao Cup and 1 here, we have sat back and defended and looked to counter-attack. We haven't taken the game to Chelsea like we used to under Pochettino. We've sat back and counter-attacked, and we haven't managed to score a goal in quite a lot of minutes of football. I think 280 minutes of football or something, and that is annoying. But defensively, today, I thought, especially in the first half, I thought defensively, the whole game, I thought we were good. That's what's frustrating. We got to half-time, 0-0, and I can't believe that we were still in the game. We should have been 1-0 up, because that goal by Kane, what he does is he puts a hand on Thiago Silva's back so he doesn't push him. He puts his hand to, you do that to a player so he doesn't accidentally or deliberately trip him. But Thiago Silva makes an absolute meal of it. I think it's ridiculous that, I just personally think that that's obvious goal, but they wouldn't overturn the referee's original decision. It doesn't seem to work like that, and I don't think that's fair. I agree with Gary Neville about it. I can't understand how the studio can argue against that in Sky Sports. I think it's clear, and it would have been a different game, there's no doubt about that. But negatively, there's no hiding away. We haven't scored in over, I think it's 280 minutes of football against Chelsea, which is bad, and there is a big gap between Spurs and Chelsea. We've improved a lot under Antonio Conte, but we're not quite ready for the games against the likes of Chelsea, City or Liverpool yet. Hopefully more in the future, but we're not quite there yet, although we are making progress. Defensively, welcome Dyer back, that looks good. But this video is a bit later because I've had time to reflect, to get my anger and frustration out, and I've realised, coming on air now, that I've thought about it, and I generally think we've still got Son and Romero to welcome back. 2 players that are easy getting to that starting 11. So Romero tightened up the defence even more, because Dyer, when he came back, looked very good, and he came on, tightened it up, despite still conceding 2 goals that we did the week. We looked a lot more defensive solid than we did at the King Power Stadium. So good to welcome Dyer back. Can't wait to welcome Romero back as well, to add to that, to come in as well. For example, to replace Tanganga or Sanchez, whoever it is. I think Sanchez done so well at the moment, it has to be for Tanganga. Excited for Son to come back, of course. Bergwijn worked really hard today, but still, you miss Son's smile and his energy. You miss a lot about Son. And excited for Adama Traore to come, because I want Conte to play back 3. Regular on left wing back, Traore right wing back. I think we'll score a lot of goals, 2 attacking full-backs, and defensively I think they'd be good. Adama's who will in the advanced talks with Wolves. Spurs are confident to get this deal done. He's waving goodbye to the Wolves fans at the weekend, suggesting he's going. He wants to move to the club. He's pushed for it. Fabrizio Romano has already said, the deal's ongoing. It's not 100% complete, but they're in advanced talks, and it looks like a 24 million fee has been agreed for him. So I'm so excited about that, because I think defensively he's so powerful and strong, and going forward he's pacey, skillful. He has everything. He's a bit like Saint-Maximin for Newcastle. It's a bit like having another Song, really. Obviously the end product I know is not there. He scored this weekend that got disallowed, and also last weekend that was allowed. But I believe Spurs can produce his end product, and I believe he can be an amazing right wing back. When we have an injury like this with Son, then he can cover that his favourite forward role, whether it's right wing or left wing. I think he'll thrive, if you like, in the Spurs shirt. But in this window, Lloris has signed a new contract. So I thought to myself, there's a few things that I want in this January transfer window, and they were Lloris signed him up a new contract, 2-3 years, signed him a 2 new contracts. That's good. Another one was buying Adama, which I know wouldn't come cheap. I thought it would be only 20 million, but it's 24. It's more than I thought, but it's what it is. And buying possibly Frank Kessie, but that's happy to be in the summer. Those two, Adama and Lloris, I see as essential. And also offloading Ndombele and Delhi. Newcastle are in advanced talks. Talks. It's only happened over the last couple of days with Dele Alli, and PSG are in talks with Ndombele, Mbappe, and also Pochettino, Hakim for Ndombele to join to PSG. And so I look at it, Lloris has signed a new contract. If he signed with Dharma, I think it'd be good enough for offload even Ndombele, Ndombele or Delhi. But I think I'd leave, even if we do buy Dharma, I'd leave selling either Doherty or Emerson to the summer and see who's better, because I know Emerson's young, but I see Doherty's a little bit better at the moment. So I'd decide which one of them we sell in the summer, and Frank Kessie I'd probably leave to the summer thinking about it. But tonight, both teams played a back four. We tried a different formation, a 4-4-2, which really worked in the first half. Defensively, very, very good, narrow 4-4-2, like Mourinho used to. Conte obviously doesn't matter. You got fullback sitting in front of fullbacks. You had Davis left back, Sessegnon just in front of him, like a left wing back, left winger if you like a left midfielder. And you had the same with Tanganga and then Doherty. And I think it worked for the first half. And then Chelsea found ways around it. They tweaked a couple of things, moved Ziyech and Mount into different positions, and sadly it did work. But what annoys me is after all that hard work in the first half, should have had goals. Definitely should have been allowed by Kane. It would have been a different game. I know. There's no doubt about that, but all our first half work was undone within like 2 minutes. Going into the second half, it's what annoys me is the players. Are they not listening to Conte's team talk at half time? Listen, you must not, said keep going in the second half, because I believe that did that goal disallowed for us really affect us? Because Chelsea fans have gone quiet. I think we were in the game, if not having the better chances. I think it's equal in the first half, despite Chelsea having all the ball. I'd say we're definitely in the tie, but then Chelsea scored 47 minutes, and I think Lloris should have done a lot better for the first goal. There's no way Ziyech should be scoring from there. Perhaps the closing down from Sessegnon could have been better, arguably, on Højbjerg. But Lloris has got to at least die for that, even if he can't get to it. And the second goal conceded by a set piece, which is frustrating. The defence should have got rid of it. Frustrating, all our hard work's undone, but I think it was our best performance yet against Chelsea. We were in the game, but as I said, there's a gap between Spurs and Chelsea because of Levy and Abramovich. The difference is Abramovich is a billionaire, and he spends so much money, and Levy's tight. That's not going to change unless Levy puts his hand in his pocket the next 2-3 windows, and we know that there's a gap at the moment between Spurs and the likes of Chelsea, City and Liverpool. There's a big gap, and Conte said that, and it's true. But we tried the 4-4-2 and it worked in the first half, so that was one good thing. Before I go into the player ratings, I'm going to read you Antonio's verdict on the Chelsea loss to get his opinion on what he thought about it, which I like doing because it's keen to know what our boss says, because Antonio Conte has massively improved Spurs. This improved too much for us, but we can't quite compete maybe with Chelsea and City and Liverpool yet. But I think we get there. I think Conte's making progress, but he does need backing. I've said this before. Here we go. Antonio's verdict on Chelsea defeat. Antonio Conte praised the commitment of his players, but was naturally disappointed with defeat at Chelsea on Sunday. His first loss in 10 in the Premier League since taking over as head coach in November. It's frustrating, as I said, for me to lose the first game under Antonio Conte in the Premier League, but there's positives and negatives to take out of it. Antonio switched his formation from his regular back three to back to a 4-4-2 at Stamford Bridge. Eric Dyer was back from injury. Matt Doherty and Ryan Sessegnon played wide midweek. Midweek match winner Steven Bergwijn started up front alongside Harry Kane, and it looked to be working in the first half as we began to frustrate the home side, and then had a goal from Kane disallowed for a push on Thiago Silva 5 minutes before time. Unfortunately, Hakim Ziyech unlocked the door with a curler into the top corner from 25 yards to hand Chelsea the lead at 2 minutes into the second half, an advantage they doubled 8 minutes later when Silva headed home from Mason Mount's free kick. He kept going, and Kepa Arrizabalaga kept out late efforts from Steven Bergwijn and Kane, but it wasn't to be. Here's what Conte had to say. For sure, I'm very disappointed for a first defeat in the Premier League, Antonio told us pitch side at the Bridge. on one side we have to be disappointed for the defeat, but on the other we have to know that the players are given everything, but it wasn't enough. Asked for what positives he could take from the performance, Antonio added, "For sure the commitment of the players before the game. We recovered Lucas Moura to the bench. Skip Emerson Royale wasn't so good. Without these three players, Son, Romero for us, we were in trouble for sure. We did everything to give our best, but sometimes it's not enough. We have to think of ways we can improve. We have to work in these 4 months to give our best to get the best possible results. Then we'll see." That's Antonio's verdict on Chelsea defeat, and I agree with him about disappointing after all the hard work. But I think the players gave everything, and I'm proud of the players in the first half anyway. They showed real fight, and I think we're a better team, and we deserve to be winning 1-0. Second half that came undone, whether it was Chelsea's brilliance or us easing off the gas a little bit, because the Bridge. Player ratings on the screen now. I'm going to talk you through it before I go. So, Hugo Lloris are given a 6. I think I'm being kind to Hugo because he signed a new contract and he's been so good this season. Because I think he's at fault for the first goal. He should have at least dived, even if he saw it late, which I don't think he did because he had a clear view of it from outside the box and it was dipping. He saw it from a long way out, and he could have at least dived and got, even if I think he could have got something on it. Personally, a couple of instances where he did turn judgment eventually right, but it caused a couple of problems. He came out, I think, headed one against Doherty, so he was a little bit nervy perhaps. Dyer given a 7, who will be welcome back to the defence. I think he done really well charging forward. I love that fight, so I think he added a lot in defence. Same about Sanchez. I give him Sanchez a 6. I think he defended very well. Perhaps could have done better at a set piece, maybe. I think he had a good game. Our defence had a really good game. Japhet Tanganga, I've given a 5.5, who I think, again, defensively done well. Maybe not as well as Sanchez and Dyer, but I think he still worked hard. He got beat a couple of times down that side, but I think he played generally alright. Ben Davies, I've given a 5. He gave the ball away a couple of times in the first half, but again, along with the defence, defending quite well. Same for Doherty, I've also given him a 5. I think, again, Doherty worked hard, like he did at the King Power Stadium. Obviously, he's got still room for improvement, but I don't think it was too bad from Doherty. He's found in positions in that right fullback. Not his best game, not his worst game either. Sessegnon, I've given a 6, so I thought worked quite hard, but since he's joined from Fulham, hasn't quite been the player we thought he would be. That he was at Fulham. I don't know if I see a player in him, to be honest, in the future. I see him as more just a substitute. I wouldn't give up just yet because he's young, but there wasn't really much from Sessegnon. I'm giving him a 6 to be kind on the kind of side, same as Lloris, Sessegnon, because he's young. So I'm not sure if I see a player in. Let me know in the comments below what you think about Sessegnon's future. It's a big question mark. Does he need to go on loan, perhaps to a top championship club or somewhere in the Bundesliga? Højbjerg I've given a 6. I think at times he's done well, and I liked his fight. I like Højbjerg's fight, getting stuck in. Yes, but he could have placed the ball in behind when we got Doherty a bit better, which we could have scored. But I think he's done alright, defended really well, along with Winks. I've also given a 6 in the first half. Them two, as well with the defence, defended really well as a compact unit in that narrow 4-4-2 that really worked in the first half. Kane, I've given a 7.5. He should have had a goal that was wrongly disallowed. He worked so hard in the team, was the best player on the pitch. And I only give the man of the match to our player. So our man of the match is Harry Kane with a 7.5. Dyer's not far off that. Bergwijn I've given a 6, again being kind to him. I think he worked hard, but there's no end product there. Perhaps just as good at substitute. You get some players who are just good at substitute. Peter Crouch, for example. Substitutes, Lucas Moura gave a 5, which, unlike him, didn't have much of an impact. Skip I've given a 6. I think controlled the possession well at times. Obviously the last 10-15 minutes Chelsea really dominated the game, but I think when he came on, done alright. And Gil I gave a 5. He came on very late, but I just turned it off when it was in added time, so I didn't see him, but apparently he didn't have an impact. Too little too late. So that is the player ratings. Thank you for watching this video. I do hope you enjoyed. As I said, it's frustrating losing to Chelsea, of course, but again, positive to take out of it. I think out of the 4 games we played this season, 3 under Antonio Conte, that was the game we had where we were the best in it. to be honest, especially in the first half. Formation worked. Chelsea's Tom Tuchel found a way around it in the second half. But we are improving under Antonio Conte, and I do believe if Levy, Paratici and Joe Lewis back Antonio Conte this January transfer window and this summer, which will convince him to stay, I do believe that we can eventually, over time, challenge the likes of Chelsea, Liverpool and City for the title, even if it's next season, and compete for silverware. This season, I mean, still in the FA Cup, but I don't think we will win silverware or come close to compete with the likes of Chelsea. But I think Conte back him in January and in the summer transfer window, convince him to stay, start of next season. I think he'll stay till the end of the season, just about next season. And then we see, and I think as Conte does that, he turned a mid-table team because we were 9th when he took over. I know we're 7th now, but we were, compete for full spot at one point. We have lots of games in hand, so we're not 7th place really, just got loads of games in hand. That top 4 still on, and I don't know about catching Chelsea because that was, I think, if we had won when it was on. But I still think positives to take out of it. Thank you for watching this video. I do hope you enjoyed. And as always, come on you Spurs.